Anybody else have any questions, comments, discussion? Anybody from the public? Look like it? All right then, I guess we'll close this hearing at 6:45. I'll do the gap for y'all. All right, let's get back into the meeting now. Motion.
Yes. Would you entertain a motion, Madam Mayor?
I would love to.
Okay. I move the city council to adopt the staff report and approve the amendments as written.
I'll second that.
Any more comments, discussion, concerns? Excellent. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. All right, we're gonna go on to page 29, the first reading of ordinance 661, amending chapter 7.4.1 of the DL. What we just went over. Sorry. Yes.
Madam Mayor, I move to approve the first reading of ordinance 661, an ordinance of the Dayton City Council amending Title 7 Dayton Land Use and Development Code of the Dayton Municipal Code.
Point of order, it needs to be read first.
We do need someone to read the title first.
Sorry.
Then that's what should be in here. It says potential motion.
Please read the title first.
May I read the title first, Madam Mayor?
Please.
Ordinance number 661, City of Dayton, Oregon, an ordinance of the Dayton City Council amending Title 7, Dayton Land Use and Development Code, of the Dayton Municipal Code.
Yeah, you went, okay. I move to approve the first reading of ordinance 661, an ordinance of the Dayton City Council amending Title 7, Dayton Land Use and Development Code of the Dayton Municipal Code.
Second.
Excellent. Have a motion from Councilor Mackin and a second from Councilor McGuire. Any questions, comments, concerns? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. All right, we are on to three of our action items, adopting the city manager profile and recruitment schedule, page 49, and I'll hand this over to Dave to do the introductions or.
Okay. So obviously you all know we're in contract with Jensen Strategies for recruiting our new city manager. On the meeting on the 22nd of July in a work session, you all reviewed the draft, made comment on the draft, and those comments were incorporated into the recruitment proposal. At this point in time, we are, if approved, ready to go to advertise for this position, and that's kind of where we sit right now. So it's up to you whether you see anything else in the profile that you think needs to be amended or not, and you need a motion.
Yes, sir.
I do apologize that I was not at the last meeting, but I cracked a couple of ribs at work the other week, and yeah, I think I'm enough for this council regularly. I don't think you need me on if there is no objection, I move to approve and adopt the final draft of the city manager profile and recruitment schedule as written.
I will second.
I have a motion from Councilor McGuire, a second from Councilor Mackin. Any questions, comments, concerns? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And opposed? Motion passes. All right, we are now on to action item number 4, and this is the approval of resolution 24/25-01, amending the Dayton fee schedule for water meter installation, and that will be page 63.
Madam Mayor, when you're ready,
Yes, ma'am.
I move to approve resolution 24/25-01, a resolution amending the city of Dayton fee schedule to update the fee for 5/8 inch and 3/4 inch water meters and installation to $325 to cover the cost to the city to provide this service.
I have a question.
Yes.
Please start with it. I'm sorry, I didn't get to talk about it first, so I do apologize. In here, it talks about updating, it talks about the higher cost of the actual meter itself and everything. And the $313, I guess, $313.85, correct? Now, this fee schedule is supposed to cover that, all the parts that it takes to connect it, and staff time. Respectfully, I question whether, I can't do this math in my head, I apologize. So we're proposing $325 minus the $313.85 that everything costs. Is that everything?
Well, I'm gonna defer to my expert here.
That's just the water meter.
Okay, so that leaves us $11.15. And respectfully, I don't think Dawn can breathe on the job and it only costs $11.15. So I respectfully, do we have a number from staff as to what the water meter and the connections and any other material that needs to go into standardized and staff time that it takes to install a water meter? Because respectfully, I think this is too low. I think it's actually more than this. And because we do have the lowest, I'm gonna keep harping on this because it's just reality. We have the lowest property taxes of any city in this county. We need to cover our costs. Because if we don't, we're just gonna dig ourselves a deeper hole. So, Dawn, Cindy, do we have a number a real number that it takes to connect the water meter?
Here.
Well,
So if we don't, I would respectfully ask that we table this until the next meeting
yes.
and come back.
Within 5 minutes of that time.
Well, it takes more than 5 minutes to install a meter, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
So
respectfully,
we'll just-
I'd like to look at this holistically. It's
we'll
like,
table it
yeah,
and
what kind
you
of
guys
staff
can
time
bring
does it
back your
take to
numbers
actually
next time.
do this?
No, I agree, because there's usually another part that goes in front of the meter on our side, and then there's a part that goes on the back side as well. So I don't think $11.15 covers those two valves.
No, sir, it does not. I mean, I did enough fluid machines when I was in high tech, when we were doing copper damascene for the high tech industry too. I know pumps and fluids pretty well, and I'm pretty concerned that this does not adequately cover our time and the staff time and what it takes to do it. So if it's okay with council, and I didn't need to hijack it, I
I have
apologize.
a point I'd like to add
Yeah.
when it's time.
Yeah, go ahead.
Isn't this part of staff time that's already budgeted and part of our costs? Here we are putting an additional cost on the consumer. I'm more or less in favor of charging them for the materials. But I want to make sure we're not like double charging.
Well, will be wonderful at the next council meeting and we can review those numbers. Thank you, councilors. All right. We'll move on to number 5. Approval, can't speak today. Approval of resolution 24/25-02, authorizing personnel services agreement for legal services with Ferry, Elsner, and Hammond, page 69. All right, Cindy, anything you need to add to this?
Not really that I can think of. It's just, we've used them since 1999 at this point, and I mean, they've been very responsive. We're very happy with their services.
A lot of other cities use them, so.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I'll entertain a motion.
Madam Mayor,
Councilor
I move to approve resolution 24/25-02, a resolution approving a personal services agreement for legal services, July 1st, 2024, until such time as either party decides to terminate the agreement.
I'll second.
have a motion from Councilor Mackin and a second from Councilor McGuire. Are there any questions, comments, or concerns? All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. All right, we are on to action number 6, and this will be on page 79. Approval of resolution 24/25-03, authorizing an IGA with Department of Land Conservation and Development, assisted by Winterbrook Planning.
So this is the intergovernmental agreement for the consultant work on the housing update to the housing elements of the comprehensive plan. The work's well underway. DLCD has already negotiated their second contract with NIC before the project started. They were just late in getting out the IGA, so that's why it's coming up this time. There's no money from the city involved in this. It's coming out of the DLCD grant. So it's just already authorizing the work essentially that's already taking place.
And we didn't have to spend any extra money. Woo-hoo! Yes,
So I did see something in here, and I apologize, because I had my notes at home and I had to come directly from work. There were some deliverables that were supposed to happen between like February and March of this year. Those did happen and were on time.
Yes.
Okay, just wanted to make sure that was clear. Yeah, February through March 2024. So those have already happened.
Yes, we're on, all the deliverables are on schedule.
Task one for the city deliverables.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
so it's just, it was in the past, so I just
So
want to
we
make
had,
sure.
so part of Winterbrook's contract is the BLI, which we've seen here on the project advisory committee, seeing those deliverables and review those. They've also provided presentations for the stakeholder meeting for the property owners in the swamp area. They've taken the lead on conducting that meeting. They prepared the materials for those meetings, and they have prepared the materials, most of which you've seen is on the website for the upcoming Spanish-speaking meeting. That's next week. They have more than, in my opinion, they have more than.
Okay, and I just wanted it on the record, considering, these deliverables were in the past. I just wanted it on the record that those have happened and they've actually gone above and beyond, which I think we all appreciate. So I just want that on the record.
Yep.
yes, sir.
Will you entertain a motion?
I would be happy.
Madam Mayor, I move to approve resolution 24/25-03, a resolution approving the intergovernmental agreement between the Oregon Department of Land Conservation and Development, the DLCD, and the city of Dayton for technical assistance from Winterbrook Planning in updating the comprehensive plan.
Second.
All right, I have a motion from Councilor McGuire, a second from Councilor Mackin. Are there any comments, questions, or concerns? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. All right, we are on to number 7, action item, approval of resolution 24/25-04, authorizing an IGA with Department. Did I just do that? Same thing, it's just a different one.
It's another subject.
Yeah, but I forgot it was the MIT. Never mind. Okay, with the Department of Land Conservation and Development, assisted by MIG, page 89.
So same basic message as the other resolution. They're providing support for the engagement pieces of the project. been providing some of the graphics. Written up the initial engagement.
All right, Mayor,
Yes.
I move to approve Resolution 24/25-04, a resolution approving the intergovernmental agreement between the Oregon Department of Land Conservation and Development, DLCD, and the City of Dayton for assistance from MIG Incorporated in community engagement activities related to updates to the comprehensive plan.
Second.
All right, I have a motion from Councilor McGuire and a second. Oh, sorry, Matt, thank you. M and M, gosh,
I'm so worried about mine.
I know, I think I was thinking about it. Okay.
My socks are nowhere near.
Oh,
No, her,
Oh,
no,
we
that's
need
true.
to put you in the middles of the MOM.
Oh, there we go.
We'd all be regular.
All right, I have a motion from Councilor Mackin and a second from Councilor Over. Anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns?
Oh, okay, over, yeah.
All right, all those in favor?
I,
Any opposed? Motion passes. All right, we are now on to number 8 of our action items, urban renewal plan income allocation negotiation discussion with Dave Ruplos, tourism economic.
Okay, well, as most of you, I think, are aware, yes, we've moved down the path with urban renewal and our urban renewal plan. We've been required, because we have public projects that are in the plan, to seek approval from 3 of the 4 taxing districts, the largest ones that are impacted. To date, we have provided meetings, presentations to the county. We've done the same with the school district as well as the fire district. The county has decided to not support our urban renewal district. We as a city have decided to support it, leaving that we need to get the school district and the fire district on board. We met with the fire district, the mayor and Councilor McGuire, myself, and interim city manager Park met with them this past week and had a very long and detailed discussion about their concerns and our needs going forward. We met, I think, with the understanding that we want to make something happen here and work. And I think that's the general consensus in talking to Councilor Wildhaber as well as perhaps to everyone here. So what happened is we did agree upon one thing, which was that in signing them a financial or a tax, part of the tax increment financing, they would do so under a percentage. So we would allocate a percentage instead of a fixed dollar figure, because we don't know what the dollar figure is going to be over time, over 25 years. We project it to be a certain amount, but if it isn't, we certainly don't want to be paying for that. So we would rather use a percentage as opposed to a fixed dollar amount. At this point in time, we'd like the permission to continue negotiating with them, in particular, to come up with a fair agreement that's acceptable to them on that percentage that we could bring back to council and then have you consider and hopefully approve. So that's where we kind of sit with this.
Yeah, for the rest of the council's knowledge, we, as a team, went into this meeting with the fire district wanting to find a way to yes. That was our mantra. Similar, to what we did on planning commission in Hillsborough. One of my guiding stars was like, try to find a way to yes. Try to figure out a way to say yes, as long as it was within the code. I think the fire department appreciated that, and I think there was some interesting details that were worked out in the meeting that not everybody was on the same page. I think that meeting was really good so that we all got on the same page as far as I think staff, and those of us, both the mayor and I, kind of we didn't understand the math correctly originally about how much they're getting per house, for example. But also the change in the law that I think Dave, you said it was 2017 or 2019 or whatever,
Yeah,
that allowed the sharing, whereas before, you know, with these things, it's like you couldn't do any of that revenue sharing, but now the law changed as of 2019 that it does allow the city to do that. So that was definitely, you know, a sign of favor for the fire department that we could do that. And now I think we just have to come to, you know, find whatever that percentage is that we think will be fair to allow the fire department to do some of the things that they're planning to do, but also allow the city to do some of the things that we want to do. And I think it was a very productive meeting. I think everybody left there
Good job.
positive and good terms and understanding that we want to do what's best, you know, for the fire district and what's best for Dayton, knowing that if the city can continue our trajectory and the plans that we have been trying to put in place as a council, that will reap, you know, higher property values and therefore higher income for the fire district. And I think they're very appreciative of that. So if there's no objection.
Yes,
Next
sir.
question, if you permission. When you guys were having this meeting, did you really feel like the numbers that the fire department was coming up with were coherent? I mean, because really that was the question. They were asking for something. I think there was some question as to whether those were realistic expectations on the fire department's part.
Yeah, I think that, you know, the bottom line is, and this is something that was mentioned to them, is I don't think they really realized until we provided them with the plan, what they might be able to realize. And I think that made them go, oh boy, that's great. We'd like to take advantage of that. So I think in terms of the numbers they provided, the big things that they have indicated are their call volume is up, has increased, that they have projects that they would like to complete, but their number one focus is personnel. They want to increase personnel, put some full-time people in that firehouse. And that really was what it came down to more than anything else. They did provide us again with numbers and so forth. We still have not yet to see an actual physical detailed budget, which I'd still like to see. Yeah, because it just makes sense so that we understand what the revenue stream is and where it's coming from. So I think that that's something we're going to pursue. We've also reached out to Tiberis, who is the subcontractor for Elaine Howard, to give us different scenarios of what percentages would mean. In other words, right now, I think they've calculated the 5.5% is $1 million, for instance. And so they will give us a staggered look at that so that we can see what that really amounts to them. My own personal staff opinion is that they should be looked upon to participate in our infrastructure needs, because water in particular is important to them. If they don't have it, then they can't do their job. And I also think that, you know, for us to grow and for them to get a higher tax return because of new development, we also need for them to understand that that cost is also some support. They won't be able to do it unless we do the infrastructure.
Yeah.
And respectfully, I think they seem to be hyper focused on houses, where for like a $200,000 house, they get $205 a year. And they weren't, at the time, I don't think they understood that what we're trying to do with the urban renewal district is much more focused on commercial properties, which have a higher tax base and higher value, so they'll get more money on that. They were kind of like stuck on the houses. They're kind of stuck on what's going to happen to the property off Ash Road and the 42 houses over here versus, you know, the value of the new, you know, boutique hotels going in, the value of the one that we're hoping is going to go in, the Twin Towers was talking about, catty corner to that, and then whatever happens to the old Opera House lot, the one next to Juanita's, that's all going to be commercial. That's all going to be much higher value than homes. And I think they're kind of a little hyper focused on the new homes coming in, and we're trying to help them understand that that's really outside the urban renewal district. We're focusing more on commercial properties, which is going to give them more money in the long run. And I think once they realized that, it was like, oh, it was kind of like a little light switch for them to be like, oh, okay, we kind of understand that now.
Yeah, and I don't think they truly understood that would be it as far as the downtown goes, if we don't find monies to improve our infrastructure. We can't offer anything to new businesses coming in without updating our infrastructure. So I don't think they really understood how pivotal that is for us and for them in turn getting those funds.
Yeah, they also, you know, they're thinking about what they're looking back and say over the last few years. A house is built here and a house is built there. We were just asked to actually inventory land available for housing here inside the city limits. It's nothing, really. It's like,
There's nothing left.
there's
The
nothing.
Sweeney development was really the
And
last.
anything we have is in wetlands. But when we talk about the UGA property and the proposals of say anywhere from 100 to 150 homes, well, those numbers are very different, you know, than looking at, I'm only gonna get my 205 whatever dollars a house. Start putting out 140 homes, start multiplying, how's my money for them? So I think that those are things too that they don't quite or weren't
Grasping.
grasping, and now I think they are a little bit better, so that helps as well.
Well, the urban renewal is a more concentrated source of revenue, and I hope that got to their attention.
Absolutely.
I would like to entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move to authorize the city staff to negotiate with the Dayton Fire District a percentage of URD tax income that will be allocated to the DFD over the 25-year life of the plan.
I'll second.
All right, I have a motion from Councilor McGuire and a second from Councilor Mackin. Is there any more questions, comments, or concerns? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Alrighty. We are now to our city council comments and concerns, and I'm gonna start with Rosalba today, or Counselor, sorry, I would call her Rosalba, I'm so sorry, I'm so informal. How about, I'll let you mess with that, and we'll start with Mr. Hofer.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you for the work on with the fire department and trying to figure that whole thing out, because I really think, I just hate to see a rift between the fire department and us, we're all part of the same city. We have a really nice fire department, I'd like to see that happening. You know, I understand entirely the challenges that they're facing, they do cover a large area with all volunteer staff, and whatever we can do to help, we should do that, in my. As far as the science is concerned, I mean, I just think we're trying to do so much for the city, and then we have this FU sign up there. It's just a low class thing. As far as I'm concerned.
Okay, Councilor McGuire.
No, I agree. I think the meeting with the fire department was really good. I wish the rest of the taxing districts would understand the challenges that Dayton's under with our extremely low tax base and the challenges that we've had with, having to replace the bridge, having to do the sewer lift station, the infrastructure to get over that gulch into where those new properties are going to be is going to be a challenge. We have the lowest tax base in the county. It would have been nice if those taxing districts recognize that and realize that they should be helping Dayton rather than standing in its way. But it is what it is. So we'll do what we can as a council and as a team to lead this city forward. And we have, I think, the best staff in the county to do it. And we'll just keep moving forward as step by step. And hey, if we have to do it on our own, we'll do it on our own.
We hope to get to that, yes, for sure. Councilor Mackin, did you have any comments?
I have questions about the dog park reopening. Are we still on schedule for Labor Day? And will you be doing an update on the bridge?
Yes.
Okay, and then I have questions about National Night Out. But then I guess I'm not helping the city, but I'll be there as a clown and I'll do my thing. Kind of curious why I'm not included in anything. But
I don't understand either, because you've been included in everything.
I came down by myself. The city never asked. I've never been asked for help except when Cindy included me in the library trip. Everybody.
I think we need to go back to the last meeting where I pretty much cussed everybody out almost.
And yet
Telling them they'd rather bring their butts down. But nobody had any assigned job. And then you asked, would it be okay if I come in my clown outfit and do clowning?
Well,
And we said yes. So that is very much a help to the city.
okay. That's all I have.
All right, Counselor Sandoval Perez.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, good. Sorry about that. I'm having technical issues since the start of the meeting. I did have something tonight. I think some of the council members knew that a while back I had indicated that I would be resigning from council. Mayor Trini at that time had asked me to stay on until we finalized the city manager recruitment, and I had agreed. However, I just found out I am actually not going to be available the week that we would be the busiest with the recruitment, the week of the reception, the interviews, and the deliberations, which is the week of October 14th. So I reached out to Mayor Frank, and I think that probably the best thing that I can do for council is resign now, so that you have an opportunity to declare a vacancy and bring a new council member on board that will be able to participate in those activities. And because they would be working with the city manager in the future, it's probably best to give them an opportunity to participate in that as well. I was looking forward to it, but it's just not gonna work. So I believe that that's probably the fairest thing to do, is for me to step down so that somebody else can step up during that week and be able to participate in those activities and those deliberations. I don't want to delay it and then end up having no one that can step in and assist in that week, because I do think it's very important to make sure that we have as many council members present and available to assist in that process as possible in representation of our, of our residents. So
I'm very sorry to see you go, but definitely understand. For sure. We'll need a motion to accept her resignation and declare her seat open.
Well, I'm sorry to do it, but I move that we accept the resignation of Councilor Sandoval Perez. Sorry to see you go. I'm sorry. Oh, and declare the seat open.
I must say, Rosalba, it is with a heavy heart that I have to second that motion. I'm really sorry to see you go. You've been a great partner and dare I say a friend on council. And we've worked really hard, but we've done good work together over these last 2.5 years that I've been on council. I respect your work and your ethic and everything you've done here. And I look forward to seeing you around town though. Thank you for everything you've done. And we wish you all good health.
thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that. During the last few months, it's been difficult for me because of, the reasons that I have to resign are personal, medical, and because of that, I've been having to participate in a lot of appointments on Mondays, which is why I have to work Friday or Monday evenings, and then I'm not able to make it on time. And I just feel that, I was stretching myself a little too thin, and the city deserves more than that. I am sorry to leave council. It is something that was very difficult for me to come to that decision. And I want you to know that I really, really appreciate getting to know all of you and getting to serve on council for the last few years. It's been truly, truly rewarding.
Thank you, Rosa.
Well, one last thing I'll say is that it means a lot. And I think I respect you a lot for stepping down, because it does take a lot to step away and say, I can't do it anymore. You're doing the best thing for yourself, but you're also doing the best thing for the city, because if you can't make the meetings and you can't do the work, then that actually harms the city rather than helps it. So it takes a very strong person to step away from something like this, especially as an elected official. And I personally really appreciate everything you've done and respect you as a councilor.
Thank you.
All right. So the only comments I have is to bring this up again. Oh, yes, thank you. I was so ready to move forward. We need to vote on that motion. So I had a motion from Councilor Mackin and a second from Councilor McGuire. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion passes.
Rosalba, are you going to abstain on that one, or are you going to vote?
I will abstain. Yeah.
No, I'm glad you said that. I completely was ready to move on. Okay, and this. Be there, or I'm coming after your butts. Unless you have an extremely good excuse, and only Councilor Over does.
No, that's not true.
No, he does have a really good.
I do too. I've been there for the last 2 years. I really do enjoy my time at National Night Out, but tomorrow night is my one day off
yeah.
in these 2 weeks. So, yes, and unfortunately, I need a little bit of downtime because I got stung by another yellow jacket yesterday. The back of my leg looks like a watermelon. So I'm going to take it easy tomorrow, and being on my feet all night is not going to be very smart, but it is my only day off for these 2 weeks. So I'm working 14 days or 15 days straight. So I need a little bit of downtime. So I do apologize. I've been there for the last 2 years, but I will not be able to make it tomorrow. Thank you.
But Councilor Wildhopper, wherever you are, Councilor Hildebrand, bring your butts down here on that night.
Who is cooking?
Councilor Wildhopper said he's gonna bring his barbecue.
He said he was gonna bring his big barbecue, so.
That's it.
All right. I think we got a couple other little things we can't leave yet. There's a few information reports. We have, I don't know if Dave has
Yeah.
anything else, we do?
I do, it's just a brief list, but I'm also gonna introduce to you, Kitri Culbertson and Scarlet Communications, who will pull back the curtain on our marketing efforts for the last 6 months, which I think you'll find very interesting and encouraging. Before I get to that, I just wanna say the status of our Parks Master Plan grant is gonna be decided next week. I thought it was gonna go to September, but they said, no, we're doing the planning grants early. So we'll find out next week and I will let you know. I'll email all of you. If we get it, it'll be a great thing because we've already chosen the firm to go forward with, so we can get with this right away. The status of our small cities allotment grant, that's the one we're gonna do the east side overlay for the streets. Denny and I finished that pretty much today. So that doesn't have to be turned in till the end of the month, but we will be prepared to turn it in, and I'm really glad we got that one done and behind us. If you haven't noticed, when you come in from the McMinnville side, the ODOT entryway there, they have moved all that asphalt shale over to the other lot. And I put in for a permit, okay, that will allow us and our public works department to come over there and just mow down the weeds that are there so that it gets level. And then we're going to talk to ODOT about what we can do with that area to beautify it. Yeah, trees. Yeah, trees grow without having a lot of water.
Trees block the view, and that's a Kyle block the view going on. That 18's a tough road to get out.
Oh, I know. It's a tough one to get to Dayton coming from the other direction too. I almost went, this came in a little hot and almost missed it. Another thing to mark down on your calendars is that we were asked to trade our date with, for the Yamhill County City Dinner. And so instead of it being in June of next year, it's been moved up to February the 19th. And we are likely going to be doing it out at the new to be open Evergreen Event Center, because they are twin towers as well, and they have made it very clear they're going to make things very nice for us for that, so including financially. So I was happy about that.
We'll take it.
So next up is going to be Kitri to give you a tourism marketing update, and we have a PowerPoint presentation for you. It's not very long, it's kind of brief, and Kitri, you can stand right up there.
Absolutely.
Thanks for waiting so long.
Oh, this is great. I'm used to presenting at the McMinnville City Council. You guys are very efficient.
We try.
If not, I'll go, yeah, if you need.
I got it.
Hold on, what's that? Oh, there, that's
Bio break.
Give us some trivia.
Trivia,
Trivia.
absolutely.
Oh, you didn't have to be. I'm pretty quick. Was only done
I feel like you guys should be asking me the question.
today.
Yeah.
Alright.
All right, first trivia question is, which Olympic sport have you guys been watching the most of during this? Zero.
Swimming.
Swimming,
I was a swimmer.
yeah, Katie Ledecky, powerhouse.
Yes, and the Chinese should not have won gold in the men's sport. They won the relay because they cheat. That's another story.
They cheat. How did they cheat?
They
failed their doping test twice. But they
Oh,
claimed it was because of contaminated meat. So it's like, after the first one, okay, the second one, stop eating whatever it is you think is contaminated.
Only twice, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, but the swimming's been amazing. It's just, I mean, that's what I did. That's what I paid for school. So it's just so much fun to watch these folks in there. That and watching the women's floor exercise gold medal when it was an all black podium and the two Americans bowed to the Brazilian. I forget her first name, but she is just a master. She's the queen. And just watch two other professional, or not professional, but two other masters of their sport pay homage to someone, you know, to another woman. I mean,
women should be
yeah,
doing that.
they should be lifting themselves up, and to see someone like Simone Biles, who's literally the GOAT of women's gymnastics, you know, just pure excitement, joy, and humble, and just do that. It's just that, I think that photograph that is going crazy right now on social media, that is gonna be for me the photo of the games.
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
would be the thing I would watch when I have time.
We got the Peacock app just to watch
Yeah.
There we go.
the Olympics this year.
I like volleyball. I used to play semi-pro. So.
Oh, very cool, yeah. Court or sand?
So, yeah, I don't know what time of year.
And I do think it's ridiculous that the guys get to wear like tank tops and shorts and the women have to be out there basically their underwear. I mean, I get
Yes.
why, but it's like, come on. These are professional athletes. These
Why
aren't-
can't a man put those shorts on?
They do.
Well, I'm not gonna show you, Mayor, but I got pictures when I was in high school. Those Speedos were not very big.
Well, sometimes those little short
We-
shorts.
Too much
no,
information.
Well, we didn't have like the long ones that go down to the knees like now. We were literally in the classic Speedo. We didn't have those.
It's like
back
the
then.
70s when they had those.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, I just asked what
Yeah.
everybody's favorite Olympic sport was, and I mean, I
We don't-
love.
You don't wanna open that door.
Welcome to small town Oregon.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I'm from small town Oregon, so I get it.
Do we have paper copies of this day or no?
I can print them out.
You could just email them. And we don't have to kill trees.
And I have it just right here on my phone, so I'm happy to talk through all these points. They won't be quite as pretty,
No.
but we can always provide the deck to you afterwards for your review. And then if you have any follow-up questions, always Dave and I are happy to answer anything. Why don't I go ahead and do that? Why don't I get started just talking
Sounds
through
good.
it? First of all, I'm Kitri Culbertson. I run Scarlet Communications, which is a marketing, branding, and communications agency out of McMinnville. Like I mentioned, I was born in small town Oregon. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Maclay, Hell Prairie area between Salem and Silverton, but that's where I grew up, working on the grass seed combines and picking blueberries all summer. I went to Linfield, so that's what originally brought me to Yamhill County. Moved up to Portland for a little while, and then when I decided to start a family, this is where I wanted to do it. So I've been living in McMinnville the last 10 years. I have over 20 years of experience. Oh, hey, there we go.
You got the first
Yeah.
page,
Yeah, you can go ahead and advance to the second one if you can. So I have
Here we
over,
are.
yay, 20 years experience in marketing and communications, working in local wineries. I also worked in international marketing for Leatherman Multi-Tools up in Portland, a very famous Oregon business. And then for the last 8 years prior to founding Scarlet, was working as a co-founder and chief of marketing for Visit McMinnville. Love to stay community focused, so I do a lot of volunteer work on boards and just in the community. I've been on the executive committee for the International Pinot Noir Celebration. I'm on the McMinnville Library Foundation Executive Committee, and I also do a lot of work with my son's JBO team, baseball. Very baseball. Yeah. Yeah. So you can go ahead and advance to the next slide. So I want to talk a little bit about why tourism and economic development matters. You hear about this from Dave a lot. Dave and I worked together pretty significantly when he was at the McMinnville Downtown Association. I was still at Visit McMinnville, working together on initiatives to make the downtown core a vibrant place where people from out of town could come and spend money and add to our tax revenue and then leave.
Without the problems.
Exactly. Well, there were some problems, but
Yes.
hopefully the tax revenue that they, brought in would mitigate that. So this data that I'm about to show you, just a couple quick slides, is from Dean Runyon. They're a very well-respected tourism research firm. Travel Oregon uses them, and the tightest we can get our data is down to Yamhill County, which is pretty great. So this graph tracks direct travel spending by visitors, and the state of Oregon defines a visitor as somebody more than 50 miles away from your destination. So these aren't even people from Salem or Portland that could be coming into Yamhill County and spending money. These are people from farther afield. But in 2023, visitors spent $181 million just in Yamhill County. That's local lodging, that's wineries, that's restaurants, that's transportation companies, that's anything that you can think of that relates to tourism and hospitality. And that's a lot of money supporting local businesses. You can advance to the next slide. This is how
And
that
that's just
money,
people coming from more than 50 miles away.
more than 50 miles
Not
away. Yeah,
inside
that's
that.
not even like somebody from McMinnville. I come and I go and watch the Boondock Boys and
Yeah.
spend too much money on beer at Juanita's. And
Roger,
yeah.
Okay. Heard, okay.
So all of that money creates great jobs. So, yeah, exactly. This is, again, just in Yamhill County, 1,900 jobs are directly related to tourism. So that's people, again, working in transportation, restaurants, lodging, any consumer-facing role at a winery or a brewery or a distillery.
Events.
What's that?
Events.
Oh,
My
yeah.
son loves to do events.
Exactly. That would include a job like mine. That would include a job like Dave's. So definitely funds good jobs. In addition to the jobs that fill other community needs, the part-time positions that students need and things like that. So $52 million in industry earnings as well. You can go ahead and then what's probably more interesting to this crowd is almost $8.5 million in tax receipts generated. So this is your TLTs.
Yeah.
We don't have a countywide TLT currently, but this would be from Dayton, McMinnville, Newburgh, Dundee. You can go ahead and advance. So we've been working for about 5 or 6 months now on a variety of different topics. You can go ahead and advance. Dave has done significant research on what the community feels like they need. I've done research on who's already coming here and what types of sort of lookalike audiences we want to attract. By audiences, I mean, how do we want to target the tourism dollars to get people here who are likely to spend money and who will enjoy the ethos of Dayton. So we could go after, with the tourism money, trying to get people who are very wealthy wine drinkers. Or we could go after the families who need a really great place to go and feel like they are welcome. What's that? Yeah, exactly. We could go after outdoor enthusiasts who are here to do cycling or use the water trails and things like that. So we've identified different audiences that we feel like would be a good fit to bring to Dayton and spend money in the local businesses. We've also, yeah,
I'm
do you have a
sorry.
question?
Question,
Yeah.
is ecotourism very, I mean, like a lot of farmers like to, you know, take people on tours or whatever, and I think that would be kind of fun. And
Oh,
remind people
absolutely.
what farmers are.
Absolutely. The good thing about tourism is, at least when I travel, I don't go and just do one thing. I don't go to a single place and just say, okay, I'm just only going to eat at restaurants in this town. I like to do a wide variety of things. I like to go and do farm tours. I like to go on, you know, a hike or something like that. Spend money at a local outfitter or, you know, whatever that might be. So at least in this area, ecotourism is very important. People want to go to the Crosby Hop Farm. They want to go to the local wineries. They want to take a tour. The winery cycle tours are really popular right now. And that's a great marriage of all kinds of different things. So yes, is the answer.
Yeah, Tommy's in McMinnville has been sending tons of people to our winery because we're down, out in the country, down a gravel road. It's been great.
Yeah, Windy Roads is a great other cycle tourism organization out of Newburgh, and they send a lot of people up here to the hill to just, I don't know why they do it, it's so steep. But some people are into that, and we will gladly accept their money when they spend it in town. So we work with Travel Oregon to build a city website within their site. So on this site, it tells a little bit about Dayton, some images, upcoming local events. It's saving us a little bit of money before we build our own sort of branded website landing page for the city of Dayton. And it looks great, and it gives a lot of information. So good thing about that is they have a really good audience, big audience of people who are coming to the Travel Oregon site. We've also met with a lot of regional organizations. So Dundee Hills Wine Growers Association, Oregon Wine Board, the Willamette Valley Visitors Association, any number of people to basically put the bug in their ear. Don't forget about Dayton. It's a great spot, and it's only getting better. So we've had some great conversations and have a really strong one coming up in, with Taste Newburgh as well, to see how we can get some efficiencies of scale with getting people from Newburgh down here. We promoted city initiatives, things that are going on in town, events, the new bridge that's coming up, talking about the new businesses that are coming in. So we've done a lot of that with those local associations and with other businesses and towns. And then we've had a variety of different photographers, videographers. What we're trying to do is create a cache of assets so that when the media does come calling, we can say, great, write about us, write about Dayton and talk about all these cool things that are going on. Here's a bunch of images you can use. Here's some pre-written copy. Tell our story the way we want it told. And then we've also created brand standards. So brand standards in marketing are how you describe things that define your logo, define how you are visually represented. When those things are defined, they stay consistent across multiple different places, and it just gives your destination a more polished look. So you can go ahead and brand pillars are things that define the tone and voice of how you talk about yourself. We've also worked on creating some standards around the logos that you guys had approved a while back, as well as identifying a color palette that we'll use in some of our graphic design. This will create a consistent set of assets that we'll use in the social media sphere, on the website, any print materials, and it's going to look and sound great. Go ahead and, all right, so we've got some things coming up. This week, actually, we're going to be officially launching the Discover Dayton Facebook, Instagram, and Google business listings. So you'll start to see posts and engagement on that. This is going to be, yeah.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Are we gonna pop up a little quicker than Dayton, Ohio, or Dayton, wherever?
So one of the cool things about social media is the more you play with the algorithm, which is always a gamble, the more it will reward you. So if we engage with other local businesses and other local people with interest and leadership like you guys, the algorithm knows, hey, this is Dayton, Oregon, not any of the other Daytons that exist out there who are clearly inferior.
I would also encourage you not to just focus on, if you have, and please let me know, don't just focus on the Dundee Hills Wine Growers Association. There's also the McMinnville ADA Association, as well as the Willamette Hills.
Yeah.
Because people travel through here to get onto 221 to get out to the Willamette Hills. So it's just, I know Dundee Hills was the first sub ADA, and I know it's kind of like the 800-pound gorilla with 40 different wineries, but there's also 2 other ADAs that are very, very close to Dayton that people will be traveling through here and wanting to stay here because it's closer than coming all the way from Newburgh. So just something to keep in mind.
Absolutely. The McMinnville ADA especially, or the McMinnville Winegrowers Association is really important. And I spoke to them as well because they're a pull-through destination, right? People are gonna start in Newburgh and that is gonna pull them through and we want to capture them and have them spend money at our businesses before they head up there or onward to the coast or some another further destination. Most people, when they travel, don't go to one spot and just stay there. They kind of bop around. So we want to make sure that we're part of their itinerary and that we're making really strong partnerships with the places and the people, businesses around us so that we can be a part of that overall itinerary. That's a great comment.
Yeah.
Since you mentioned trivia, I looked this up. It's either 27 or 29 states in our country have the city of Dayton. We need to stand out.
That's why I asked that question.
Yeah.
Oregon poaches other cities.
It's bad.
Really bad.
I know Washington has one of that.
Yeah, well, Dayton, Washington, I got a list of people to call, to sign up for a blood drive. None of them looks familiar.
Right.
I wasn't even on the list, so they sent me a list for Dayton, Washington.
So many people on LinkedIn hit me up from Dayton, Ohio, that are employees of Dayton, Ohio, the city. And they think they're not part of
Well,
this.
that happened to me in McMinnville all the time. People would ask me what time the pool opened in McMinnville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually went to McMinnville, Tennessee, and it's a really cool little town.
It
But
is, right?
yeah,
I got lots of,
Yeah. That's the problem.
I got lots of condolences from the Dayton shooting. And even on the anniversary of it. Oh, I'm so sorry you had to put up with that. I'm sorry too, but
I think the big thing to remember about marketing is that it's all based on creative and a consistent message. And so sometimes marketing can be viewed as maybe, the evil empire or whatever, but really it's just using creative materials to create emotional pull so strong that somebody takes the action that you want them to take. And that can be used for good. That can be used to get people to donate to causes that you care about. It can be used to get people to come to this town. One of the things that creating consistent brand standards and making sure that we have a consistent presence online when people are looking to plan their trips is that we're going to feed into that consistent message about Dayton, Oregon is the place to go. When you are coming to wine country, you want to stay in Dayton, especially if you're traveling with your family, especially if you're interested in combining multiple types of visitation. So you want to go on a bike ride in the morning and you want to go wine tasting in the afternoon and you want to eat at a really legit restaurant in the evening. This is the place to do it. That's what people are looking for. And the more we can keep that consistent, positive messaging, it's great.
Just remember, all signs point to Dayton. If you drive around this country enough, it's like Dayton, Dayton, Dayton. Everywhere you hit a crossroad, it's Dayton this way, So it's like, we're very, very famous. I don't know what they do.
So along those lines, promotion of local businesses and events. So making sure that our events, our city events are showing up across all platforms. That's on Google, that's on Travel Oregon, that's on industry websites. So I've been going ahead and making sure that all of those are placed with attractive images so people want to come. Public and media relations. So that's interacting with, consumers directly through events or sponsorships. That can also be working with local media. So that's sending out proactive press releases with the messages that we want them to tell rather than them coming and fishing for ideas. If we're constantly in front of them saying, hey, here's what's new and now in Dayton, they get used to that and write about us and you're getting a lot of free publicity, which is great. There's also a lot of really cool new things coming up in Dayton that will give people a reason to want to write about it. So making sure that we have that consistent messaging, that we look great, that we have photos ready to go, that's going to be super helpful. Creation of visitor programs. So Dave and I spend an hour every other Thursday basically just dreaming up ideas. And our latest thing is transportation. So there's going to be a lot coming on that. But we're doing a lot of research into new ideas of how we can get people here, how we can get them to spend more money in our local businesses. Then partnerships and collaborations. Again, this is not the largest tourism budget. So how can we maximize the efficacy of these tax dollars to create the biggest economic impact for the city and the local businesses and the people who work in them? So I've found that that is working with the local associations, working with other DMOs to make sure that we're part of that broader itinerary. And I've also found that that can kind of lead to other pools of money like grants. If you are in association with these other folks, sometimes they can apply for money that, you know, us as a city organization or a 501c6 can't apply for. So that can turn into more funds that can do more cool things for the city. So I'm looking forward to pursuing those as well. All right, I think the next slide is the last one.
Oh, no.
It's a really cute picture at the Cinco de Mayo event. But I really appreciate your time, Mayor, Councilors, City staff, and Commissioner Johnson. And again, we can send this out afterwards, and if you have any follow-up questions at all, please feel free to ask. I've been in the tourism and economic sphere for the last almost 10 years. So I'm really open to new ideas and have a world of experience that I'm excited to bring to Dayton.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Excited. What? Now we're on to city manager's report.
Okay, I have a housekeeping thing. I just need the minutes to reflect that we've hired Deanna Volkar as the finance director. So the Historic Preservation Committee, during this CLG grant cycle, Certified Local Government Grant Cycle, decided to create a story map of Brookside Cemetery. And included in that was also a searchable inventory of the cemetery. So now when people are looking for where their relatives or other people could be buried, they can go onto our website and they can go to this map and put in somebody's name and it will show them where they are in Brookside.
And we can include that too.
There's actually a lot of cemetery tourism.
Yeah,
that's a big
people
deal.
totally get that. Totally.
It's
So now-
really cool. I checked it out
Yeah.
today.
The story map?
During lunch, yeah. It's really kind of cool. And it's not just like, you know, General Palmer, it's like there's a lot of other folks who
Yeah.
participated in the first, you know, governmental, you know, Champlain Park, when they first got together to decide how to get, you know, how to dispose of Ewing Young's property. That's how Oregon was founded, because he died in testing. So they had to get together to figure out how he had 50 square miles, and they had to figure out what they were gonna do with it. And that's how the Oregon government got started in Champlain. So it's really kind of cool. There's a lot of history in that little cemetery that's not just Dayton.
Yeah,
But
it's,
It has a lot of Oregon, the very, very beginnings of what would eventually become the state of Oregon too, which is really kind of cool.
it's fascinating.
Everyone, it's not just,
Mary Gilkey is buried there.
she's included in the story map.
The one who donated the land for our library.
Yep.
Well, and City Hall too, I think.
Yeah, all the land, yeah. And she also climbed, she and her friend from college climbed, I think it was Mount Rainier, because some man said they couldn't do it. So she is a feisty broad.
Yeah.
Are people still allowed to be buried there?
No,
Okay, I'm not ready yet. No.
No,
that's
I think it's well done.
A long time ago, we did a living history where a group of people did research, dressed up, and then told the story. There was one boy who drowned in that river right there. And he was actually in the water and he came out and did his spiel.
You know, we should hang on to that
I
because
wish we could have.
the one nonprofit that wants to do the drama stuff,
Oh,
if they hired them to do that in the summertime,
this might have been connected to the LDS church.
write that down.
Well, the-
Sorry, I'm so goofy.
the Yamhill County Historical Society was going to come out and do something like that in Brookside right when COVID happened.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why we need some young folks.
Bummer.
Yeah, because the city of Hillsborough, they have their Pioneer Cemetery, and they do that. They have people come out and, you know, and
Dress the part.
Yeah, in era appropriate clothing and basically tell the story of that person. They're that person who's buried right there. I got to do that when I was on planning commission there. That was really cool.
So you say COVID killed the project?
It did
Loved
indeed.
it.
I have some ideas for next year's old timers.
Yes, and we are going to be producing a printed map as well to have out at the cemetery for people that come and visit to be able to use when they're there.
Very nice.
Very cool.
So I don't think I need to remind everybody about National Night Out.
Mayor took care of that.
Yeah.
And then we do have an upcoming event on Thursday at 2 p.m. in Courthouse Square Park for the library, part of summer reading. It's going to be music and puppet show.
Nice job. That's cute. That's all I have. All right. Before I ask for anybody to make motion to adjourn, think of wonderful ideas for next year's old timers. And next year's old timers, city council is participating, okay?
But we do work and I'll be
Like,
there.
there's not a question. You will be participating. And this goes for Waldhuber and Hildebrandt if he's still here. They will be. So, think about some things you're interested in that you would like to participate in or be in charge of. Because, again, you are going to be up.
I can take the day off of that. I know what the day is. I'm not big fan.
Well, we're gonna start planning like next week, Dave.
Okay.
The last
Sorry.
weekend in July.
Pardon?
It's the
It's
last full weekend in July.
Okay, last full week of July. Okay, I'll put it in my phone.
So, anyways, I'm just saying that because there was some. Beth isn't going to be doing the old timer parade and all that this next coming year.
July
So,
25th.
so we will need some fresh meat, and that fresh meat is coming from the council first.
Well, I have an offer I can make.
Please make it.
I've been reading cozy mysteries that plan. To-do lists, checklists. It seems like we could use a little bit, we could use somebody to kind of sit back and organize and make sure make sure we buy the right things and don't. I could do
Don't buy
this.
things twice.
I could do some of
Not
that
you, but-
organizing, I'll offer right now, do the organizing so that we're ready and we know. And next year, the following year, somebody can follow the routine we just set.
Can you turn your mic off?
He's teasing.
Sorry about that, but yeah,
Okay, excellent.
that's just an observation, but I could help with that.
I love it. All right. I would be happy to entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right, we are adjourned at 7:57. That's, I want to get through this stuff.
It's much appreciated. I haven't had dinner yet.
Thank you.
Straight here.